Good afternoon. I am Jennifer Dimaya, and I will be presenting the demonstrating effective leadership. Leadership character. A leader's character is what you consistently experience with that individual. The example of their conduct determines to a great extent the influence they have over their followers. In other words, who you really are affects how effective you will be in leading others. Gandhi, for example, believed that his personal life gave him the credibility that enabled him to be a successful leader. According to John Spence, if you want to be a great leader of others, you must first become a great leader of yourself. Individuals cannot be effective leaders if their personal lives are a mess. People won't trust someone who has significant slips in character. If it is evident that your followers are unreliable or untrustworthy, then it is important to examine your character to determine why you are attracting those types of follower. Leadership is certainly about character. Character needs to be enhanced by competence for it to be effective. On the other hand, competence and talent without character will not take anyone very far as a leader. Leaders in this rapidly changing world need to continuously take stock of their character and their competencies with respect to the impact on their embracing or resisting change. Who we are is to a great extent what we have experienced, and how we perceive events and people around us directly impacts the choices we make. Leaders must believe in the values they express and must work hard to get their personal values in sync with those of the organization. If leaders are to be inspired and then inspire others, they must have a clear sense of their personal and professional values. Leaders with strong positive character will pursue making things better for those that follow them, which leads to building a high level of mutual trust. Leadership character is also about building relationships and adding values to others. Ineffective leaders and weak leaders can easily damage their organizations, and it has long been demonstrated that it is easier to damage an organization than it is to build a good one. Leaders need to model the behavior they expect others, which means they must demonstrate and communicate clear values for both themselves and their organizations, and be ethical in all their dealings. The three C's of leadership credibility are as follows. Credo, this I believe. Competency, this I can do. Conviction, this I will do. Next is the leadership behavior. Your job gives you authority, your behavior gives you respect, according to Irwan Peterman. From extensive literature on the subject of the character of successful leader, points to a number of characteristics and behaviors being present. It is clear that personal attitudes play a major role in determining our character and how we interact with others. In order to become better leaders, we must be ready to deal with our own internal ideas, preconceptions, and how we think so that we can adjust our attitudes appropriately. According to Daniel Goleman, states that the behavior of leaders is responsible for at least 70% of the emotional climate of an organization, and this in turn drives 20 to 30% of the organization's business performance. Leadership development initiatives focus on being conscientious in assuming responsibilities rather than passively waiting to act until problem develops. One of the more effective ways of learning the critical behaviors of effective leaders is through observation, which may include observing other successful people and copying what they did, observing and learning from the mistake of unsuccessful people. Effective leadership is a complex of different but related behaviors. Number one is being trustworthy. One key leadership that is integral to all other characteristics is the ability of the leader to generate and sustain trust. Trust is the glue that holds an organization together. Highly respected professionals such as Stephen Covey suggest that establishing a sustainable organization requires long-term trustworthiness. If no trust exists, there is no influence over others, which means there is no leadership. Without trust, a leader will never get the result he or she wants. Next is integrity. A leader cannot generate trust unless he or she consistently viewed as having integrity. Integrity means doing the right things at all times and in all circumstances, whether or not anyone is watching. It is walking the talk. People who adhere to a strong set of principles are being true to themselves and who have the courage to take responsibility for their actions have integrity. Integrity certainly includes honesty, but it goes beyond that. Honesty is about telling the truth. Integrity is about keeping our promises and fulfilling expectations. It takes having the courage of our convictions to do the right thing, no matter what the consequences will be or how inconvenient and unpopular the results. Another important way of demonstrating integrity is to be loyal to those who are not present. In doing so, we build the trust of those who are present. According to Stephen R. Covey, integrity also involves consistency of behavior, which means treating everyone by the same set of principles. An important dimension of integrity is keeping the commitments. On the other hand, a leader that has integrity but lacks competence can often lead to a well-meaning individual who is unable to make anything happen. This type of so-called leader can take the organization down a dead end. Next is the self-reflection. It is an important behavior that is demonstrated by leaders. It involves being aware of and understanding one's personal strength and weaknesses, and what one does well and not so well. For leaders to take their followers in a good direction, they really need to take the time to reflect and learn from their experiences. It's about knowing oneself. It is virtually impossible to know yourself without receiving feedback from those with whom you have contact. It isn't easy to ask for feedback, but it is important. However, if you don't value this feedback, then it won't have much of an impact on your development as a leader. If we have a clear awareness of who we are, it is possible to develop the habit of staying tuned to what we say and do. However, self-awareness also means people must understand why they are the way they are. They need to know just what experiences, values, and knowledge have shaped them to be who they are. Next is the self-confidence. It is consists of an optimistic belief in one's ability to succeed. Before one can lead others, one must be confident in one's own capabilities. However, this is not about arrogance or egotism. Instead, by knowing themselves, self-confident leaders have the boldness to undertake the difficult tasks and challenges necessary to meet their goals. They try new things, offer ideas, exude positive energy, and cooperate and collaborate with their colleagues. Self-confidence is the lifeblood of success, according to Jack Welch. Self-confident, self-confidence emanates from a strong feeling of self-esteem. Self-confident leadership leads to boldness of action, which is reflected in a willingness to try new things and to offer innovative ideas. Self-confident people do inspire confidence and positive energy in others. Leaders needs a core sense of confidence that allows them to be comfortable receiving input from others, as was discussed under self-reflection. Part of increasing one's capabilities involves developing feedback systems, both formal and informal, and acting upon the feedback received. A good leader is never above feedback or learning from others. A self-confident leader must also have a capacity for aloneness. Someone who dares to be out front of others has to be willing to carry the blame for mistakes and to sacrifice self-satisfaction on the altar of promoting the success of others. Self-confident leaders are not threatened by the success of others in the organizations. Self-confidence is built on real achievement, accomplished by mastering significant skills and situations, and by knowing that you can add real value by the work you do. An organization cannot unleash the creative power of its people when they doubt themselves. Next is the self-directed. Self-directed leaders choose to lead their lives by their own design, not by default. They tend to have a clear sense of purpose, which is evident in their behavior. Work in a purpose affects performance in a very meaningful way. Leaders who are self-directed are very aware of their actions and behaviors and try to remain true to their values. Furthermore, a continuous effort is made to discover their blind spots and then work hard at bringing about needed change to be a more effective leader. The willingness of self-directed leaders to be individuals who believe in themselves makes them stand out from the crowd. The courage of what allows them to pursue changes and to take on risk. And that's all for my presentation. The other sets of learning of leadership behaviors will be presented by Miss Heidi Cagayat. Thank you.